Big welcome to everyone who is joining us from different parts of the world. Thank you so much for being here. We're super excited to have each one of you on board. Quick introduction: my name is Joanna. I head the apprentice community at Qureos. If this is your very first event with us, whether it's a workshop or a cohort or the first interaction with us, we just wanted to quickly introduce ourselves, which is we're a collaborative learning and digital apprenticeship platform where you get to learn skills and upskill yourself through mentorship with industry experts from different parts of the world. And then we also want to put you together with projects, internships, apprenticeships, different ways in which you can really get that hands-on experience and sort of launch your career as well. So that's what we're doing here. If you have any further questions about Qureos, about how it works, please go ahead, drop it in the chat. We'd love to tell you more about everything that's happening here. This particular workshop, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk about how can you draft the perfect roadmap for your own personal development. And we've got a mentor with us here today. I want to quickly introduce Neetu before we get started. So Neetu Chaudhary is a trainer, keynote speaker, thought leader, and has been an executive coach and business excellence professional for more than 20 years. She has imparted training for more than 4,000 hours to executives and professionals from different levels, backgrounds, and experiences. She is also an author, speaker, YouTuber, and has presented papers in various international conferences all around the world. She has successfully led the implementation of various quality and business excellence initiatives on various different frameworks and has had a lot of experience with different executives, professionals, different spaces, industries, and countries as well. So we are super excited to have you here with us. It's going to be a really good learning experience for all of our apprentices who are on board as well. So let me hand it over to you, Neetu. And if any of the apprentices, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll take some as we go, and we'll also have some time at the end of the session for you to ask more questions. So over to you, Neetu.
Thank you
Feel free
so
to
much,
just
Joanna.
Thank
Thank you so
share your
much.
screen and we'll get started. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yep, we can see.
Okay, that's wonderful. Just a second, let me put it here. Thank you so much, and thanks, Curious team, for inviting me. I hope everybody is safe from wherever you are joining. Today we'll talk about, as Joanna said, that about the personal development. And before we start, I would like to share one story of my childhood. When I was in grade second or third, I always used to count every year when I finish my exam and I'm waiting for my result. I count how many more years are left: three, four, five, six until 12, then 3 years of graduation, then 2, 3 years of master's. So every time I'll write it and tick mark, okay, 1 year is finished, 2 year is finished. And I was desperately waiting for my education to finish because I thought this is something limited number of years only I have to study. After completing 20 years in professional life, I realized learning is never ending. And I keep telling my daughter that I will work and learn till, even if I'm 100 or 90 or whatever age I am, I'll keep learning and growing. So personal development or learning is never ending cycle. So if you're counting like me, how I used to do that, stop it, because you will love learning once you have that passion for it. And when we start learning, we start realizing there are some factors which leads to the success in our life. What do you think, what are those factors which lead to success when we keep learning continuously in our life? What are the main contributors of success in our life? We want this session to be completely interactive, so please share your comments and Joanna will share with me. What do you think, what are the success factors which contribute in life?
We're just waiting to get some answers.
Sure. What do you think, Joanna, by the time we get the answers?
Good question. Success in life. Thank you for putting me on the spot. Um, I think probably growth, just being able to constantly change and grow, whether it's in with roles or what kind of growth you're able to, or sort of set new challenges and get to those different scales is one way to measure it. We have another person, John, has said hard work and consistency is how you're able to measure success.
That's brilliant. What do you think about education or money or skill or looks or context or power or race? How much do they contribute?
It definitely does play a small part, but often I think people assume that it plays the whole. It is what it is, like education or looks or those things are what really matter.
Hmm.
Gunjan says that satisfaction from work and motivation to work is also quite important.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, let's see what happens. Who's this person? Thomas Alva Edison. He failed 10,000 times before he could invent light bulb. And when his friends told that you have already failed 10,000 times, he answered that I have not failed 10,000 times. I have learned 10,000 ways how bulb cannot be made. So if there are 10,001th way, I know now that how to make it. This is how he used to take failure. Walt Disney. Walt Disney was thrown out of his job. He was sacked because of lack of creativity. Einstein. Interesting fact about Einstein, he did not speak till the age of 4 and he did not read until he was 7 years old. J.K. Rowling, her book Harry Potter was rejected more than 20 times before it was published and now it's a huge success. Dr. Seuss, his book, who's the world's most famous child book author, his book was rejected 27 times before it was accepted, and then he became a big name in the child book industry. This everybody knows Oprah. Oprah was rejected from a TV channel because of her emotions. They said you are not fit for television. Who's this person? Darwin. He was an average student who was not a brilliant, because sometimes we feel that somebody who's brilliant in class and always comes first gets always more than 90%. Those people only succeed in life, and Darwin was completely average child when he was small. Michael Jordan, he lost more than thousands of goals before he was selected. When he was in school, his name was removed from the school basketball team. He went home, he locked himself in a room and he cried for hours. And then he did not give up. Winston Churchill, he failed in grade 6. Can you imagine? Grade 6, can somebody fail? But this guy failed. And finally, at the age of 60 plus, he became Prime Minister of England. So these are some of the people, those who have done great things in their life. What do you think common across all of them? They are very average. They did not speak for a long time. They were rejected a number of times. Their names were removed from the list. They failed in exam. They faced all the kind of rejections. They were sacked from the job. So what is common among all of them? Which was the most important success factor?
I think just the willingness to try again and again and not just take failure as it is,
Yes.
but just being able to try. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And that's the most important success factor is there. Yeah, I forgot to mention about the Ford. Ford is a famous brand, but when he opened his first automobile company, it was bankrupt and he had to close it. So, as Joanna mentioned, growth mindset is the most important success factor. Not your education, not your nationality, your looks, your race, your attitude, skill, money, contact, nothing. The most important is that if you don't give up, you will succeed. There is a saying that if you roam around a barber shop one day or the other, you get your haircut done. So you are not losing until you quit. If you are in the race one day or the other, you will definitely win the race. Growth mindset is a concept which was introduced by the Carol Dweck from the Stanford University. She did study for, she's a doctorate in psychologist, and she has done study for more than 25, 27 years across all the different schools of US, different uh, using all the different factors, and she identified the most important factor which defines a lifelong success is the growth mindset. Growth mindset is a concept which says that when we focus on the process and not on the outcome. So, for example, if you have created a beautiful painting and you are focused on that, wow, I'm such a great artist that I have created a beautiful painting, this is a fixed mindset. But if you focus on that, I did a brilliant selection of colors, I put a lot of efforts in doing it, and next time I'm going to do better. So this time you're focusing more on the process rather than on the outcome. When you focus on the process, you get eventually into the growth mindset, which is a main success factor of success in life and for the personal development. So henceforth, whenever you talk about anything, don't think about the end result or how many marks you are getting. What you are learning during the course of time, what you're learning in the class, how you're implementing it, this is what is going to define your final success, not your marks or grade or any certificate. It's not going to define. Certificates you can get from anywhere, but the knowledge you cannot get from anywhere, you have to earn it. The growth mindset is the most important factor in personal development. And now there is a beautiful story. When I was like in maybe 9 or 10 year old, and we went to one river. I don't know swimming yet. At that time, also, of course, I did not know. We went, I was just simply in the water. I was there in that river. And some people were swimming. I was just floating. As people were swimming, they were pushing water. And the more water they were pushing, I was going into deep water without doing anything. And eventually it happened that I reached a point where I couldn't keep my feet on the ground, and I was panicking. Now that was an enlightening moment for me. Why? Because I realized if I am not doing anything, still things are changing around me. So I don't have any option. I need to learn. The same way, life is directly proportional to development. If you're not learning, by doing nothing, you're going behind everybody. Because we live in such a dynamic world, every second things are changing. And this is not to create the panic, but to create the awareness. If you are not learning something, if you're thinking that you have a 6 textbook in your college, or you have to complete 5 subjects in one semester and finish it off and then you are done, it's a misconception. You have to keep learning. Don't confine yourself to only one book or two book. Implement it. See how you can implement the concept we are learning. What else you can learn? Go to internet, go to library, talk to people, see, talk to professional. Curious is the best platform for it. Talk to professionals and ask them, I have learned this concept, how is it practically implemented? I'll tell you a simple example. If you ask most of the maths graduates, they have studied differentiation and integration, but most of them don't know what is the real life use of it. We spent 4 years in studying it, but nobody knows what is the real use of it. So this is the thing, like if you're studying something but you don't know how to implement it, that is a waste of time. So keep continuously learning and keep seeing that how you can implement those things. And if you're not learning, by doing nothing, you're just going behind everybody. Now, this is the most important concept is that little maths, let's do one thing. 365 multiplied by 1 is 365. It's very simple. So that I will do. The difficult part I'm going to give you now. If I multiply 365 by 1.01, it is 368.65. What is the difference in both numbers? 3.65. So each day, if you are learning little bit of thing, if you're learning one English word, if you're learning any new concept each day, just one concept, imagine how much you will improve after 1 year. Your vocabulary will be improved by 365 more words. Your expression will be more by 365 more words. If you're learning a new concept, if you're learning how to implement things, you will know 365 new ways of doing things. Even if you fail on each day, at least you will know there are 365 ways of failing and not doing something. So each day, Make a small target, very small target every day. Keep learning something. No, I don't know what exactly is your goal. Whatever is your goal, you want to have certain kind of job, you want to learn some language, you want to start your own business, it could be anything. Just take one step every single day. You know that story about the bamboo, Chinese bamboo? When they put the seed in that soil, Chinese bamboo, it for 5 years it doesn't sprout. 5 years farmer has to take care of that, not a single sprout comes out of it for 5 years. But when it comes out within 6 weeks, it reaches to long feet, 10, 15 feet, it goes very high. So it was an incubation period for those 5 years. Every day when you are learning something, you are in that incubation period. People may not be able to see result, you may not see result, but after 365 days you will surprise yourself, my goodness, how did I learn so much in just 1 year? Because you are taking one small step every day. Changes are always gradual, nothing happens suddenly. So every day make a small goal. Take a A4 paper right now, take a pen and write down what exactly one thing you want to learn right from today till next year at the same day. Every day you keep learning something. Now, for the personal development, we will talk about three. I actually many people used to ask me that how do I keep learning and doing lot of things, different things. So I wanted to create a very simple model, and this model I created because it's very easy to implement and it's very easy inside out journey it is. So it's a 3 by 3 matrix is there for the personal development at the physical level, at the conscious level, and the subconscious level. So we will go through each one, and each one has three simple steps. And the first one starts with clearing the clutter. We are so busy with so many things in our life: mobile phone, classes, traffic, paying bills, running around, attending wedding parties, so many things we have in our life. And our brain is so many occupied with so many things. So how will you make space for learning? We need to clear clutter from our brain. We need to make space in our brain. And for this, I want all of you to take a paper, take line like this, but divide your paper into three equal parts. In middle, you write your goal, what you want to achieve in your life. Now, I request Hadia and Joanna also to do this exercise if possible. Whatever your goal is, it doesn't have to be smart. Whatever comes in your mind, just write it. I want a better job. I want to be a good public speaker. I want to do some certification. I want to start my business, write a blog, publish a book. It could be anything. Or I want to launch a new product. I already have a company and I want to launch a new product. Write your goal, whatever you want to achieve from today till next 1 year or 2 years. Write it in some points. After doing that, take a moment and write your daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly activities on one side of the column. It could be your team meetings, overseas travel, Facebook and using social media, watching TV, cooking, reading book, going to college, LinkedIn learning, meditation, yoga, reading news. It could be anything. Talking to friends just like that for 3 hours, getting stuck in traffic for 1 hour. It could be anything. Making presentation, painting, attending different conferences. So whatever comes in your mind that on the daily basis, I do these activities. Write all your activities on one side. I know we have very little time, so we cannot do complete this exercise now, but you just write 1 or 2 points so you remember that this is how it has to be done. On the last column, I want you to write name of people with whom you interact with. Write all the names in a day, in a week, in a month, with whom do you interact. Now map these with your goals. Is this activity Is this activity adding any of my goals or not? Just check it. You may find some activities which are not adding value to anything, like watching TV is not adding value to any of my goals. Overseas travel is not adding value to any of my goals. Team meetings are total waste. It is not adding a value to my goal, right? Or maybe the making reports, it can be automated. I don't have to do it. So it is not adding value. So whatever is your goal and your current activities, map it and check. Is it adding value to me? Is it making any sense for me? The same you have to do for people. It is not rude, it is not bad, it is your life. We all have 24 hours, whether you succeed or fail, you achieve your goal or not. Everybody has 24 hours, but some people do brilliant in those 24 hours, and some people they keep crying, I don't have time, I don't have time. So, which one you want to be? Someone who achieves more in 24 hours, or someone who's just always running behind the clock? Map the people with whom you are interacting with your goals, and strike out the names which are not adding value to you. Now, when I'm saying strike out, it doesn't mean you have to remove them from your life. Just minimize your conversation. Suppose there is a person, say, Kiki, and you are interacting with her for 3 hours in a day, and you see that interacting with her is not going to help you in achieving any of your goals. Minimize that conversation from 3 hours to 3 minutes, and you are saving 2 hours 57 minutes for your life, right? So you have to take a call for this activity, because until your brain has limited capacity, until you make space in your brain and your time, you will not be able to do more. Same applies for your activities as well. So you can do this exercise later, but I always do this, and I really don't hesitate to cut off from people those who are not adding value in my life and my goal. And I love this exercise, because when we do this exercise face to face, it has brilliant results. And people always say, my goodness, I was just wasting 80% of my time and I never even realized it. Now, once you cut off all these things, you will have space for adding new things which are here. Like, for example, launching new product. You are doing nothing currently to do it, neither you are interacting with anybody to do it. So you need to find some new activities for it. This exercise is for clearing the clutter, making space for yourself. The next space is the action plan. Define your goals very clearly, SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, very clear goal, what exactly you want. I want to launch my company by July 2022. This is so it's very specific what exactly I want. Measurable, is it measurable? Yes, it is measurable. It is achievable. Yeah, it is achievable. If I say I want to be president of US, it's not achievable, because for that I need to be born in US and I should be US citizen, so it's not achievable. But opening your own, starting your own company, opening your business, completing your graduation, completing your masters, it's in your hand, it's achievable. Is it realistic? Is it time bound? We cannot have someday I will do this thing. That is not time bound. So you have to define, by July 2022 I will do this, by December 2022 I have to finish these things. So define your goals, SMART goals. Make action plan. Goal is completely useless if you don't have action plan. If you have a plan, that if your goal is to, say, get a certain job, say managerial job you want to get, or you want to complete your MBA, for that, what is your plan? Have you joined the entrance exam classes? Have you registered for the entrance exam? Have you appeared for the entrance exam? Are you, how many hours in a day are you going to prepare for it? All this will come in the action plan. Without action plan, goal is completely useless. And then you have to check your ecosystem for it. You are saying that you will study 16 hours, but you have to attend college also. How are you going to study for 16 hours? So you have to be very realistic. You have to check your ecosystem. Monthly target, make monthly target, weekly target, and then keep checking it. Quantitatively, you keep checking whether I achieved or not. I decided that this week I'll complete 3 chapters. Have I completed or not? If not, then I'll not attend that wedding party. I'll stay at home and I'll complete that. So you have to be little determined for achieving your goals, because you are only one responsible for your goals, nobody else. And if something is missing, you have to miss out on your parties and meeting with friends and complete your goals. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your life, nobody else is. The third simple step in the physical level is making time. How do you think we can make time in our life now, since we have cleared the clutter? So, how can we make time now? What do you think? How can we make time? We are not meeting with non-value adding people. We have cleared the clutter. The friends, those who are draining out our energy and not making us feel, uh, not, I'll not say positive. The friends, those who are making us feel that we can't achieve, we are not meeting with them. So we are just like saving our energy. But how we can make time? It's something like my room was filled with all the junks. I have removed junk by clearing clutter. Now I need to make time to decorate it. So any ideas on how will we make time? Joanna, if I'm not getting answer, I'll ask you. What do you think? How will we make time?
Maybe realign some of the tasks as well, to see what is extremely important for this week or can be pushed for this. Sort of just like move things around a little bit to see. But Gunjan also says to think cautiously where to spend the time towards achieving your goals.
Yes, that's brilliant. Both of you have given brilliant answer. We start with removing waste that we have already done. Whatever time I was wasting, I'm just removing it. I'll tell you my own story. We in last 3 years I have reduced meeting some of the family friends because I felt at some point neither they are adding any value to me, neither I'm able to motivate them to achieve something in their life. So it was total like just meeting and meeting, greeting, eating, and coming. That's not something value adding relationship for me. So we eventually, like, I made that space for myself. So this is how we have to take a call by removing those relationship, those friends, those group around us, and those habits also, like spending the time on social media for 4 hours. If you're spending on LinkedIn, that will add value, but if you're spending on Facebook, then you have to really think about it. As Joanna mentioned, that prioritization, this is the most important thing. All successful people, all achievers, I would say all professionals do the prioritization. As I mentioned, we all have only 24 hours, but some are struggling and some are achieving. The only differentiator is that achievers know what I want to do and what I don't want to do. I can postpone it for tomorrow, or I don't even have to do it. So, prioritization is very important. You cannot do everything. You have to take a call what you want to do. And the one thing which I love the most about time management, I emphasize everybody outsource it, delegate it to somebody if you are not willing to do, if you're not the expert in doing it. I'll give my own example. I love to create content, I love to take training, I love to talk. But if I have a website designing, I can do it. I'm from IT, I can do it. But that is not my subject. I'm not subject matter expert for it. So I decided not to waste my time in that. Rather, I'll outsource it. I'll ask somebody to do it for me, and I will use my expertise and my time in something which is of my interest and which is adding value to me. So you have to take a call. If you have to, like, I'll just give a very simple example, that putting cover on your notebook, now it is a total non value adding work. You can give it to your younger brother, sister, they can do it for you, and you can utilize it 10-15 minutes, half an hour in studying something or learning something. So small things, whatever profession you are, whatever studies you are doing, see, is there anything which is not adding value to me, and somebody else has that expertise, so I can give them. And this is how the economy will move, right? If I'm giving job to somebody, even if it's a small thing, the economy will move, they'll also empowered, I'll also be empowered. So remove waste, prioritize, and outsource. But at the same time, please check your dependencies and constraints. We all live in a world where we depend on each other a lot. So if you're thinking that you will study from 4 to 5, from 5 to 6 you will do something, 7 to 8 you will do something, where is the buffer time, travel time, going to washroom break, washroom breaks, eating breaks? Where are those things? There are a lot of dependencies in our life, lot of constraints are there. So, when you do removing waste, prioritization, outsourcing, please do consider dependencies and constraints. If you have to go to drop your brother or sister to their school and then you have to go to college, that's a dependency. You cannot leave on time if you have to go and drop them, right? If you have to attend evening classes, but your professor in college is not leaving you on time, how will you attend evening classes? So you have to consider all these things when you make target, goals, action plan, all these things. And these are very ground reality. Hypothetically, we create lot of things, but ground reality is totally different.
Neetu, John has a question. Can you please explain further about outsourcing? Like how can you do it effectively?
Okay, I have a question for John. What do you do so that I'll be able to give exact example for you? Like, are you student or what do you do? Outsourcing means we are giving it to somebody else. For example, if Joanna is expert in creating the meeting invite and creating the meeting invite, inviting people and giving a good introduction, then I don't have, and that is not my expertise, but that is her expertise. So rather than me being expert in everything, I'll focus on only my core strength. And I will request Joanna, can you please create meeting for me? And can you please send the invitation and do the introduction part? Other part I will take care of it. So I'm outsourcing it to her, I'm delegating it to her. You're a medical representative, okay, so in medical representative, like suppose for example, I'm just trying to think of the example for that. If you have, suppose the, like, I don't have much experience of medical representative, that's why I need to think of the example. Suppose you have to explain doctor about some medicine, right? Now for that you have to do research. If you don't know about it, you have to do research, and then you have to make notes and all those things. If your friend has already done, and that your friend has expertise in that field, you can ask him or her to create it for you, and you can use the same notes. The same way you can help him in doing area of work which you are expert in that. Suppose you are expert in medicine ABC and he's expert in medicine XYZ. So you both can interchange. You can create some material for each other and exchange with each other. So you are giving job to somebody else who's expert in that field. I hope it's clear. For example, like when I take session for working mothers, I take this example. If cooking is not your expertise and you don't enjoy cooking, you can always outsource it to the chef. You can hire a cook and he can do for you or she can do for you. You don't have to waste time in that, right? So rather you can use that time. If you're very good in making jewelry designing and you love to make jewelry, you spend your time in that. You can ask somebody else to do cooking for you or something. If you if you don't like teaching your children, you can always hire tutor to do it, because you feel that tutor has more knowledge and expertise than you have it. So it's always in anything you can outsource it. I'm in love with outsourcing and delegating things, because that gives me a lot of time for myself to focus on my core strength. In fact, you will wonder sometimes, I write an article and I give it to my daughter for review because her English is much better than my English. So I give it to her, and since I'm teaching her business, she charges me for that. The number of words, accordingly, she'll charge me that many dirhams she's charging me. So that way, I'm teaching her business as well, and I'm outsourcing her. So it's very easy for me. I'm giving my headache to her, and I focus only on the content part. The English part, she's taking care of it. So you can outsource anywhere. In the physical level, we have seen clearing the clutter means making space in our room, making action plan how we want to decorate, and making the time that when am I going to decorate the home. So it's the physical level for personal development. Let's quickly move to conscious level. Now I want all of you to pay attention, because slowly we are going from outside to inside. It's inside out journey, but it's easy to understand when we go from out to in. At the conscious level, I want you to write, choose one only one of your objective. What is the most important thing for you to achieve in your life? And make a focus SWOT for it. What is focus SWOT? SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So suppose you want to do public speaking or publish a book. What is your strength in it? You have a good command over English. You are very compassionate person, because for public speaking you need to have expression, voice of tone, good knowledge, emotional intelligence. So these are your strength, problem solving skills. But what is a weakness? So think from your goal perspective, whatever goal you want to achieve, what is it one area which I need to improve upon? So if we take the same example, it will be like writing, written communication we need to improve upon, Articulating ideas. I have very good ideas, but when I sit down and start writing, I'm not able to connect things, make a beautiful story out of it. I'm very lazy. I procrastinate. I don't feel like sitting for 2 hours and writing it. I don't have the listening skills. I don't like to listen to different talks and news to get new ideas. So that is the weakness. Opportunity. How can I grow this idea? By networking, by meeting with new people, and what problems may come. Finance could be one of the problem, lack of support from the family, it could be anything. So whatever is your one goal, which is the most important goal in your life, do the focus SWOT for it. Write all the strength that comes in your mind to achieve that goal. Write all the weaknesses that comes in your mind to achieve that goal. Don't write too many. Right? Opportunities. What are the opportunities you can use? Networking, social media, you can use your contacts. All these things are your opportunities. And what are the threats are there? What problems may happen? Competitor is threat, right? Economy is threat. Lockdown is a threat. All these are threats. Cyberbullying is a threat. All these are threats. So write it. Now, why are we doing this exercise? We said that we'll set smart goals. And when we say smart goal, one of the component is realistic. We don't want to set any hypothetical expectation from ourselves and then later we cry and later we feel that we couldn't achieve it. So when we set the right expectation and we know this is my strength, this is my weakness, this is the opportunity, this is the threat, we have two options. The option number one is that I develop these weaknesses. Option number two, my favorite, outsourcing or delegating it. Right? So if I don't have time to improve on my written communication, I can always delegate it to somebody. If I'm not having the time to improve on my articulating ideas, I can hire a content writer. I can give my idea and that person will write content for me and I just have to review it. Procrastinating, if I'm too lazy to write it, I'll record it and say give it to my content creator, and that she or he will listen and create content for me, right? So you can do many things with your weaknesses, but only if you know that it is there. If you're ignorant about it, it's impossible to overcome it. The same goes with the threat. You can have a coach to help you with, you can have a mentor, you can go to Qureos to find the different options which are available, how you can overcome these threats and these weaknesses. So please do SWOT at least for one of your main goals. And the next thing in the subconscious level is self compassion. Many times we feel that self compassion, I really feel sad sometimes in schools and colleges we don't talk about self compassion when we teach them studies and subjects. And that is the main reason around the world so many people, so many students, they get into depression and they think of many things while taking their life and all those things. So I think that in all schools self compassion is the first thing they should teach before teaching any subject, especially complicated subjects. When you try something, you will fail. There is no option that you don't fail. 100% chances are there that you will fail first time, second time, third time. If you're not failing first time, this means it's too easy for you. You're not coming out of your comfort zone. So failing is a good sign. When you make silly mistakes, when people laugh at you, when you do blunders, it's good because you're coming out of your comfort zone. You're trying something new. But when you do that, and if somebody says something or you feel sad, forgive yourself for your mistake. People, those who try new things, they only fail. Those who don't try new things, they never fail in their life. So forgive yourself if you have done any mistake. Appreciate yourself. Say that at least I tried. I'm much ahead of people, those who are still thinking. I tried and I failed. So at least I know one way that it doesn't work. I will try all the 10,000 ways like Edison, and then I will come to know, okay, what is the right way of creating bulb for my brain. Mindfulness. Be aware of your strength, weakness, threat, and opportunities. Always. Don't hide from yourself. If I am aware of my weaknesses, I know how to outsource it or how to utilize it. But if I'm not aware, I'll never be able to utilize my weaknesses as well. In connectedness, this is very important. I'll talk about this in the last slide as well. We all are so deeply connected with each other. You, some of you might have realized it, and as you grow older, you will realize it. If I'm creating this content, I created all this content for students only, and the circle is completing, because again I'm going back and talking to most of students today. When I created, I was worried by seeing so much unrest and like so many students struggling to grow themselves. So I created this content, and by this thing, thousands of people are like, they got the hope that they can improve, and they got the right path of improving it. So by your work, you may feel that you are failing and nobody is appreciating, but you don't know to whom you are inspiring. Maybe you're inspiring your friend to do something, maybe you're inspiring your brother, sister, cousin, mother, father, something to come out of your comfort zone. So keep trying, keep doing, don't give up in your life. You don't know, they will come to you after 10 years and say that you inspired me to do big things. They may not say today or tomorrow. Don't do self judgment. I'll say this 1,000 million times. We all have the habit that I am not good enough, I don't deserve it, I don't have this thing, I don't have that thing, I'm this nationality, I'm this religion, I'm this race, I'm this color, I don't have financial background, my parents are not supportive, my spouse is not supportive. Don't do all these things. I'm not good enough. No. Self judgment is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Never ever isolate yourself. If you feel low, go talk to your friends, talk to your mentor, talk to your professors, ask for help, take extra classes, because you don't fail until you quit. And you will realize it more as you grow in your professional life. If you stay there, if you don't isolate, ask for help, you will definitely get help. Till date, I have not seen it in my life that I have a question and I did not get the answer. If you have a question, definitely you will get the answer from somewhere in the world. And the worst thing you can do to yourself is the self pity. Oh, poor me. I'm the worst person in this world. I'm the most miserable person in this world. All the bad things happen to me. Don't waste time in doing self pity. Nobody cares. And nobody's worst in the world. So nobody cares. It is your life. You have to decide what do you want to do. You want to waste time in doing self pity, and or you want to get up and run your race. So, all these are part of the self compassion. Love yourself realistically, know your strengths and weaknesses, encase your strength, work on your weaknesses. If you waste time in self pity, then gone case. You'll be just wasting your time and others will go ahead. Grit. This is a concept Angela Duckworth, she did a lot of research with students and college students, and she found out that people, those who don't give up, like the growth mindset, people, those who don't give up in their life, they only succeed and achieve their goals. Grit means day in and day out sticking to your goals when it is not giving result, when it is you don't see result, you are learning one English word each day, but you are still, nobody appreciates that your English is good. 365 days have gone, still nobody appreciates, but you don't give up. You continue that habit for next 5 years, and after 5 years when you meet any of your friend, you will surprise them with your English. And when I was making this slide, I couldn't find any slide better than Muhammad Ali's slide. That I hated every minute of training. And I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. So when he was practicing and sweating and crying and getting hit in his gym and practicing, nobody saw. But when he became a big champion, everybody saw. So stick with your goals. Even if nobody appreciates, nobody is able to see. You will see the result. Whenever you think of giving up, think that you are a Chinese bamboo. You will take your own 5 years' time to sprout. And once you do that, you will rock. We have seen at the conscious level. Physical level, we saw clearing the clutter, action plan, making the time. Conscious level, we saw focus, SWOT, self compassion, and grit. And now the last vertical is subconscious level. Now we are going little more deep. From our body, we went to our heart, and now we are going to brain for the self development. Visualization. When we talk about visualization, I am not talking about some hypothetical concept. I'm talking about here neuroscience. It's not something that wish list, oh, I want to be the fairy godmother someday or anything like that. It's not like that. When I'm visualizing something, for example, if I want to be a public speaker, or I want to speak at the TED Talk, and I close my eyes and I visualize it, I'm standing on stage on the red carpet and I'm speaking, and thousands of people are standing in front of me. I'm speaking from my heart, I'm telling my story to them, and they are responding to it. They are feeling emotional, they are feeling connected. After that, I finished my speech, they and I got a standing ovation. There were some questions and I was able to answer them confidently. By visualizing this, I'm creating the new neural pathway in my brain. Right now I'm so scared of talking to suppose somebody or do any public speech. But every time I'm visualizing it, I'm creating new neural pathway, because our brain does not understand difference between reality and movies. So whenever you watch a movie or you get a dream, you feel it's real. You would have seen many people, when they watch movie, they start crying, because brain doesn't know the difference in reality and what is imaginary. And when brain feels its imaginary is real, it starts creating new neural pathway. Now, why it is important? Because when you start creating new neural pathway, your neurons creating new neural pathway, when you are in that actual scenario, your brain is already ready to take the action. So if you're not a public speaker, but you're visualizing it, you're learning English word daily, you're not wasting your time, you're practicing it. And one fine day, your professor calls, your boss calls and says, today in meeting, you have to speak. You will not be nervous anymore, because it's already there in your brain. You have practiced it 1000 times. You'll stand there and automatically things will fall in place, because brain will take the control. Brain will say, it's not something new. I know how to speak. I know about this topic. And you'll start talking about it. So visualization, it's a neuroscience based concept, but don't mix up with wish list. Do step by step. I'm standing, I'm speaking, I'm doing this activity. So do step by step visualization. Once in a day is enough. And be realistic when you are visualizing. Don't visualize that you're flying or something, which is realistic. It has to fit into that smart goal thing. Now, the beautiful one. Many people think 10-minute walk. How is it related to personal development? There are beautiful studies are there on internet, you can find it. It says that when you go for 10-minute walk in open area, especially near plants or trees, without any iPod or music or anything, not talking to your friends, just you are there and the path is there and you are walking it. You become more aware of yourself. It improves your creativity, innovation, you get new ideas, and you get breakthrough ideas. I get lot of my ideas for my quotation, for my post when I'm alone. Either I'm walking or I'm just sitting and thinking something, or I'm looking at plants, I get ideas. So no matter how trivial this looks to you, I want you to try this for next 10 days. Go for 10-minute walk alone, without phone, without any gadget. Don't go with friends, because when you go with friends or family, you're constantly talking to them. So you're not getting connected with nature. Try this for 10 days and see that it is impossible that you don't have a breakthrough or you don't get some good ideas which you never thought that you can have it. So try this and you will be able to improve your memory when you go for 10-minute walk, because you are connected with yourself and your brain is free that time. So when the moment the brain is in the present, it will have more capacity to remember things. It will help you in your exam, your speech, whatever goals you want to achieve, it will help you in that. And nothing to say more about meditation. There are thousands of studies available on meditation. Now there are many different type of meditations are available. I will not go in detail of which kind of meditation you should be doing it, but if you want to utilize maximum power of your brain, then do meditation. Now, it's a completely different and very deep topic is there, so we cannot cover in 5-10 minutes now. But meditation has lot of benefits. It does the housekeeping of your brain. It removes the neurons, the path which are not required anymore, neuro pathways. It helps in building the new neural pathway, the goal which you want to achieve. And whatever you are doing visualization, it will help in that. It will help you to get more clarity on your strength and weaknesses, your threat and opportunities, so you have more clarity on your goals. And it will reduce stress. Like that, it has so many benefits. It will reduce stress, it will improve concentration, you will have a lot of breakthrough ideas, you will become more creative. Just 10 to 20 minutes in a day. Try for 10 days and see results. It will improve your grades. In fact, if you do constantly every day 10 to 20 minutes meditation, any kind of meditation, you will see that how your grades are improving. And it's not a magic, because your brain is working more efficiently, so grades will improve because you can remember more things. We have seen at the physical level 3 by 3 metrics, clearing clutter, action plan, making time. Conscious level, we have seen focus, SWOT, compassion, self compassion, and grit. And the subconscious level, which is a very deeper level, we have seen visualization, 10-minute walk, and meditation. This is a 3 by 3 metrics which always works. I have seen for so many people working for their personal development, not only for a student but for professionals as well. And now, quickly, I'll touch upon enemies of self development. So, what do you think? What could be the possible enemies? Quickly, if one or two of you can respond in chat. Hadia had one question by then, that wouldn't outsourcing be cost intensive? It depends. There are non financial costs is there. If somebody is, suppose for example, cooking for you, in that case maybe you can empower your children to do cutting vegetables and preparing it for you, and then you can help them in their homework. So not, it's not always about financial cost. It's a non financial cost is also there in that. And the time which you are saving, suppose I'm outsourcing the cooking job, or I'm outsourcing the English, the grammar checking job with my daughter, then I'm saving those 1 hour or 2 hour. I can utilize it to create more money, generate more money. So it depends on that situation. So what do you think? What could be possible enemies of the self development?
Maybe self-doubt, just the questions you ask yourself, and if you keep second guessing yourself, it will be difficult to develop.
Yes. Self doubt is here, living in the past glory. In
Mm-hmm.
past, in my grade for one, I came first in class. I was the topper of my school. Past is gone. It is completely gone. What I'm doing today matters, and what I'm going to do today is going to make difference in my future. Not my grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3 report card is going to make any difference. So many people, they still live in the glory of past. They think once upon a time I was like this. That time has gone. What you are doing today is the most important thing. Underestimating or overestimating, not being realistic about yourself. This is another mistake people do. Like, I won't be able to do, I'm not good enough. Like, as you said, self doubting. I can't do this thing. Only people, those who studied in certain, like English medium, they only can speak English fluently, or they can only do certain type of job. This is underestimating. Overestimating is, I can fly. I don't have wings, but still I can fly because I'm visualizing it. It's overestimating. So we have to have realistic things. The most important thing which many young professional, in fact not young, I would say many people, they don't realize, the biggest mistake which we do as a student and as a professional is not helping others. We feel them as a competitor. I feel that, okay, Hadia is my competitor, or say Joanna is my competitor, I'll not share details with her. By not helping them, I'm damaging myself. Because I was teaching engineering students for 4 years, and I realized whatever I did not study in my engineering, when I was teaching, I had to study. So that was the biggest lesson. But yeah, when we help others, we learn a lot. So Whenever I have helped anybody, actually my knowledge has improved 10 times more than their knowledge. So please don't hesitate to help others. And not unlearning. I think students will not face this problem. Only the professionals, after 5, 10 years, they start facing this problem. They are very adamant. This is the way I have done my whole life. This is the way we have to do it. Time is changing. We live in very dynamic world, so we have to unlearn. And I think last 2 years of pandemic has taught us this, that we have to unlearn and learn new things. So old ways don't always work. We have to keep learning new ways of doing things. And since we have enemies, we have some friends also. Leadership. You have to take leadership of your own life. Nobody's responsible for your life. If you have a dream, regret of dying with that dream is more painful than the failure while trying it. So try, even if you fail, don't give up. There is nobody in the world who has never failed. I get rejected almost every day for so many things, and I'm quite comfortable with that. So once you get comfortable with rejection, success will come in your life. Vision. You need to have some vision in your life for where you want to reach, what you want to achieve. If you don't have any vision, it's like you're just wandering around, you don't know where to go. Emotional intelligence. Be aware of your emotions, be aware of other person's emotion. In this world, more than the IQ, EQ is important. Your personal relationship, your emotional intelligence, these are the main factors which define success and your development in life currently. Which we have seen, an empathy. All the jobs are getting automated. Many of jobs are getting automated. I would not say all. The driverless cars are coming. Pilots, autopilots are there. Cash counters, vending machine. So many things are getting automated. Few things robo can never automate is empathy, compassion, innovation, creativity. So empathy is something which is very, very human and which is required for yourself and for others when you are doing personal development. And these are the friends of your self development. If you want to grow in your life, these are your friends. You have to keep them so closely with you, and always they'll support you in your personal growth. So that's it. Any questions?
Brilliant. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and start dropping them in the chat. We've got one question, which is how can you motivate yourself when you face failure after failure, like multiple times? How can you keep motivating yourself?
When you fail first time and you try again, are you the same person or you are a different person? You tried something, you failed. Now, after failing, are you the same person or a different person? You're a different person. You
Slightly
know,
different, yeah.
yeah, you know little more than what you knew before trying it. If you fail 20 times, you know that I know I'm expert in failing. I know it doesn't work 20 times, right? So, this is the one way of motivating yourself, that you are getting one step closer, one step closer. Never lose, never take failure as a failure. Take failure as a learning opportunity. I make a mistake, I learn from it, I correct it. So next time I'm not going to do that mistake. I always say everybody, making mistake is okay, just don't repeat it. Because once you don't repeat it, you will like one day will come when you'll exhaust all your mistakes. Then only the good stuff will be left.
Which
And
which
whenever
makes
you get
complete sense, yeah.
yeah, and when you get demotivated, just go through the list of people, those who have failed in their life. Like we have seen in the second slide. 27 times rejection. Imagine if we get rejected, sometimes we feel that, okay, let me not try it. I'm not made for it. But that person did not give because that person believed no matter what, I will achieve it.
Yeah, yeah. So another question is, what are your top tips to organize your life in order to achieve better personal success?
That's a brilliant question. I love it. You have to be focused. Focus is the most important thing. If you're getting distracted easily, like if I have decided that I have to publish my book this year, that is my main focus. Now if I want to attend wedding party, if I want to watch every weekend movie, if I want to go for every birthday party, if I want to spend time in pool, if I want to go to marketing, then I'm not focused. If I want something, I have to work for me. The second most important thing is that I'm responsible for my dream, nobody else. So don't think that somebody from somewhere in the world, God will send somebody to help me and achieve this thing. God helps only those who help themselves. That is the most important thing. Actually, that's very good question you ask. I'll tell my niece, she was preparing for one of the college exams, and I told, you will not clear it. And she was little upset. And then I said, because I don't see that craziness, this madness, that, like in Hindi we call pagalpan, like the craziness, the determination, I don't see in your work. You cannot study, you cannot prepare for entrance exam studying 1 hour in a day. That clearly shows that you're not determined. So if you want to achieve something, you need to have that madness. Like, I'm working this year on something, and I'll tell you, 24 by 7 in my brain it is working. Whether I'm sleeping, I'm in washroom, I'm eating, it's always there in my brain. It's inside me, actually, that thought. So you have to be so crazy. Sometimes my husband says, you are just crazy, that thought doesn't come out of your brain. I said, it's my brainchild, I can't throw it out. So you have to
Yeah,
go
I
crazy.
think it really comes with a lot of like passion for the cause as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which
if
makes
you
sense.
love something, just go and get it. That's it. It's as simple as that. You want, you get it. You will not get it first time, you will not get without failure, you will not get without humiliation, you will be rejected, you will face all kind of problems, but if you stick to it, you will get it.
Hmm, definitely. We are running out of time. We can take
Yeah.
one more question.
Yeah.
So John has another question. How do you identify personal weaknesses?
That you have to do introspection, and you have to sit and see what I'm good at it and what I don't enjoy, and I don't want to improve also, right? But it is required from my goal. For example, there are 1 million things which I don't know. I don't know how to drive a truck, I don't know how to row a boat, I don't know how to sweep road, but that is not adding value to my goal, right? So first you write your goal, and then you see what skills are required for it, and out of that, see what I don't have. Suppose 5 skills are required, 3 I have, 2 I don't have. This is my weakness, right? You don't have to go for the universe, because in universe 1 million skills are there, we don't want to develop all of them. So based
Which
on your goal only, you write it.
Yeah, sort of like very focused effort on what
Yeah,
will help. Understood, which makes sense. Great. So I think we will wrap it up here, Neetu. Thank you so much for being with us, for taking us through all of these different elements. And I think the what I've taken away personally is the fact that a lot of the things that you've said today are extremely practical. Like genuinely, just take a paper, create 3 columns, write it down, and sort of figure it out from there. So big thank you from me, from Hadia, from all of us here at Curious. Thank you so much for spending an hour with us. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you will come back and do another session with us very soon. So thank you.
definitely. Thank you. I'm happy I could add value to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everyone who is a part of this session as well, we hope it's been helpful to you. We'd love to hear from each one of you, your thoughts about it, what else you'd like to learn. And feel free to join the platform, join some of our upcoming cohorts and webinars as well. And we really look forward to hearing more from you. So, from everyone here at Curious, thank you so much. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you're joining us from. So, thank you.
Thank you. We leave the meeting now?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, thanks.